The new ship in No Man's Sky Adrift actually has a very powerful new mechanic that lets you pretty much build your own version of it that can be much stronger. Plus, we have a brand new update that fixes some of the expedition milestones in case you were stuck on them, plus many more to talk about in this video, so let's jump right in. First things first, let's go over the most important fix, which is to some of the milestone bugs that we had prior to the patch. So especially these right here, you would get soft locked out of them, especially if you already completed the rendezvous points associated with them. Well, as of patch 4711, which should be available to download right now, you no longer have that requirement. You can literally just pause drive through space, and after a short period, you're gonna get a cutscene which finally lets you complete these. You don't even have to be within the same rendezvous point system, nor do you have to even select the rendezvous point system any longer to have this work. In my case, all three of them got bugged, but I was able to complete all of them after the new patch pretty much in the same system. But since we talked about some of the new expedition stuff, let's also go over the starship. The Iron Vulture actually comes with a pretty unique mechanic because it's one of the few, well, the only one that we can actually scrap and get its components to build our perfect aircraft, which now works even better with some of the new stealth paint that we got from finishing the expedition. So to actually pull this off, you need to first finish the expedition, which already gives you one Iron Vulture as it is. So we're gonna need 2 more for the 2 remaining pieces. And to claim additional 2 more or to make more copies of the Iron Vulture, all you have to do is to go add Expedition Terminus on the Space Anomaly, and you're going to see there's the option right here to create Starship. So this is going to let you have another copy of it in exchange of about 2800 nanites, which is not too shabby, but be careful because this can replace an existing ship, especially if you already have a failed hangar. So in my case, I actually had to pick some of the ships that I was no longer planning to use because for some reason I wasn't able to claim one and add it on top of the ones I already have. Maybe a bug or an oversight, but just be careful when you press on it to not replace some of the previous expedition ships. And from this point on, what you can do is to head over at any starship outfitting station and just salvage the cockpit, the wings, as well as the tail/engine. And this is going to give you all of these cool parts right here that you can then funnel into an even better ship. Because guess what? You now also have access that really awesome set of shadow paints / well, stealth paints, because we have a couple of categories. So besides the default color, you also get a metallic version, a stealth variant, and finally the ironclad. So my favorite is definitely the stealth variant, as you also get these awesome sort of army patterns on it. Otherwise, it's very similar to the ironclad, so if you want something without patterns, you can go with that and still keep this really awesome new tint. But besides that, you can also mix and match any part of any hauler you got before with the new ones from the Iron Vulture. So yes, they absolutely fit very well, I might say. However, I still recommend you keep the wings at the very least. Reason being is because they come with a very strong new feature, which is the fact that they let you hover in place. This in fact is unbelievably useful because now you can stay in place and pretty much shoot directly at anything you want, be it for mining resources or to just destroy enemies. Plus, it lets you more easily pull off barrel rolls, and even though it does say it has a normal range in terms of maneuverability, it feels like it's way more maneuverable than anything else, even without a single upgrade. In my case, upon crafting this, I also got a bit lucky and I had 3 supercharged cells very close to one another, so I'm pretty sure that this is like the best in slot I could possibly get for this type of ship, and I can't wait to actually fully upgrade this. But it definitely looks awesome. This variant color with the blue and the yellow is like out of this world, no pun intended. I think it's one of the best looks for this type of hauler as it is. Besides this, we also have a look at the ship of the Damned. It comes with 22 points into combat and 24 into exploration, so a pretty good all-arounder nonetheless. Obviously, it does look a lot more like an industrial than anything, but it does have a lot more points into the other two. It does seem to have this very interesting doomed to sail forever buff, so it kind of has this infinite sort of spinning circle that I'm not sure exactly what it does. Does it add any XP, or is it a gameplay mechanic I'm not aware of? It does seem to factor in with something because it does change the times damage, the number right here at the second entry. So if you know anything about that, let me know down below in the comments. That is why for all of these reasons and for especially the next ones, I always recommend to use an existing save file to finish expeditions. Not only can you transfer amazing items onto the other side and have a much easier start, like for example having a bunch of upgrades, max rank ones and whatnot, yeah, you can actually transfer back some of the new ones you got via the expedition milestones. So in my case, what I recommend doing what I did basically is to save upon all of these inventory upgrade modules for the ships, the multi-tools, even your jetpack. I did not use most of the ones I got from the milestones because I wanted to bring them back to my own main save files. So as you can see, we got quite a nice number of them. Could have been a bit higher, but yeah, it looks really nice. Plus all the max rank upgrades that we got from the other side, from various expedition milestones, plus getting a few yeah, lucky shots with some of the droppables. But at the end of the day, the final score was also really good. So we got like 15 million units, but especially we got like 10k nanites and 1500 quicksilver. You already know how hard quicksilver is to come by, so that is a very good amount. Plus the nanites that you get are more than enough to at least buy 2 more haulers and yeah, scrap them to build your perfect one. Anyway, in terms of some of the other tips I have, in case you're still in the Expedition 13, in Phase 2 you have this milestone to climb a mountain that's at least 1600 units. So if you already head over to rendezvous point number 2, you can just manually do this by going over any mountain, especially a big one, but I suggest going at a nearby space station and just look for any player base that has 1600 units in its title. There's a number of players actually that already built that high, so the moment you pop in, you're going to immediately unlock this right away. Another one is that to power up your ship, you're going to need deuterium, and you can easily craft that by simply using tritium that you mine from asteroids, plus a bunch of the silicate powder that you get when using the terrain manipulator. You simply put this in your refiner and you can get this, but in my case, I'm already done, so you can't see the result. But it does work only during the expedition. The only other problematic one was this to discover the 3 synthetic creatures. Basically, you just have to press on the mission, and then if you go into the galactic view, it's going to show the destination towards the nearby solar system that actually holds a planet with synthetic creatures. You're going to have to unfortunately go on each one by one until you find one. Typically, it can also be on normal planets. So the way I recommend doing this is to go on a planet, and if you see any normal creatures being listed, just scratch that off the list because that's not going to be it. Typically, you only have 2 of these synthetic creatures per planet, which are the robotic creatures. So in that case, look for anything that lists 2 out of 2 creatures. So you will need 2 planets actually to pull this off and complete the milestone. Anyway, besides this, we do have other fixes for the Expedition 2. So they fixed an issue that caused 2 Adrift milestones to both give you the nutrient processor plans. They also fixed the issue that caused the Horizon Omega and Prime Vector pre-order ships to be interpreted as fighters, which would cause a crash. They also fixed minor issues related to planetary tornadoes, and another one preventing the claiming of some expedition milestone if one of the rewards upgraded a ship or multi-tool, but the current item was already a max rank. And finally, they fixed an issue that prevented players from claiming the ship of the damned if they had permanently declined the freighter rewarded from one of the milestones in the Adrift expedition. But that's pretty much it with the video. In the meantime, let me know in the comments, did you like the expedition or do you prefer something more substantial like in the form of feature updates? I am kind of in between. I did get frustrated at times with some of the bugs during it, but some of these rewards are definitely worth it and I do enjoy them now that I got them. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.